Welcome to Smack This, the unofficial Godsmack podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things Godsmack. This is episode 48 this week, Godsmack AOL Sessions 2003 is what we're going to be talking about. This week in Godsmack News, the band's been posting a ton of pictures from the shows that they've been playing, like they've been doing the last couple of weeks actually. From the tour, they've been showing pictures of the band on stage. They've been showing pictures of the crowd. So it's been absolutely fantastic to look at. Great photography. On Sunday, they posted a video of them backstage, actually changing the set list, which is what I talked about in last week's Godsmack News. Where they put Where Legends Rise as the beginning song to kick off the show, and flip-flopping it with Soul on Fire. Sully and Tony kind of talk about it, and Tony's like, well, Legends is a great song to kick off a show, so let's do it. Then on Tuesday, they posted another video where Sully's asking Robbie, easy for me to say, asking Robbie the chord changes for the song What About Me. He says he always messes it up when they play it. And then Robbie kind of shows him, and then Sully says, looks into the camera and says, this is how we practice. Also, there is a lineup change for the Mount Pleasant, Michigan show on May 26th. Which is actually coming up pretty soon. The band From Ashes to New has been added, so they're going to play this show along with Bullet for My Valentine. So they're the two opening acts, and then of course Godsmack's the headliner. Sully posted a video Tuesday on his Instagram account for the show in Franklin, Tennessee, that there will be a special guest joining them on stage. And it was Mr. Brad Whitford of Aerosmith, the guitar player for Aerosmith. He joined them on the encore part. They kind of dropped a song during the main set list and added an encore song for this occasion. They played Dream On, which is an Aerosmith classic, and then that song led into the Beatles' Come Together, which I think was fantastic. I haven't seen a video of it yet, but I will definitely be looking at it after I film this episode. But Come Together, both bands have covered this song, so yeah, this is great. Can't wait to see it. And that's it in Godsmack News this week. This is episode 48, Godsmack AOL Sessions 2003. So in this week's episode, I thought it'd be kind of cool to take a trip back in time, and maybe you remember, maybe you didn't know about Godsmack AOL Sessions 2003. Now, a little bit of info about these AOL sessions is that they started in 2002 and went until 2012. So some of you younger fans out there may not know what AOL stood for. It stood for American Online. It was the first internet provider. It was actually for free. What you would do was you would go to Walmart, maybe Target might have them, I don't remember. But you would get these free computer discs. They were like in a cardboard looking sleeve. You would put it in your desktop, download it, and then you only had so many minutes on it. So once you ran out of minutes, you were done until you went back to the store and got another one. Now, how you logged in is interesting. I remember it just saying AOL is ingrained into my head. You would hook your computer to a landline telephone, and then when you would log on, Sorry, let me see if I can get this working here. You would hear that, and that's what's been in my head since last week when I said AOL, and so that's how you would log on, and then off you would go. Now there wasn't a whole lot of websites out. There was like MySpace and stuff like that that I didn't take part of. But another interesting, kind of funny to think of now is if somebody called, it would kick you completely off the computer. You were done until they hung up, and then you could log back on, and you'd have to hear that again. And yeah, so that's that. Let's see what else. The sessions were basically a promotional tool for bands and artists to use to promote something. So in this point, in 2003, Godsmack was promoting the Faceless album. Some of the other bands that took part of this and other artists, I just wrote a small little list down. There's like a huge list. It's like 3 big long columns worth. Cheap Trick, Phil Collins, Sir Paul McCartney, Stained, Rush, Papa Roach, just to name a few, Green Day. Yeah, a lot of them used this. There was still a lot of names on that list, and there's my notes. So, now let's talk about the Godsmack session. The band only plays 3 songs. It was filmed on February the 10th, 2003. A little bit about the stage. It's a basic plain stage. It's almost kind of looks like a rehearsal room. There's amps on each side of Shannon, although they're not the big column or amps. They're like the little small ones. Like I said, it looks like a rehearsal room. There's a curtain behind them. There's no pyro. There's no fire. There's no crowd. Like I said, it's almost kind of like they were practicing or getting warmed up for something like the tour or something. It starts with an intro from Sully and Shannon, and then the first song kicks off. Now, what's really kind of funny, and when rewatching this, I hadn't seen this in forever. I know I didn't watch it when it came out, so this is like years later, thanks to YouTube. But was how long Shannon's hair was, and it was jet black. I forgot all about that. And also got me thinking, man, it's been 20 years since Shannon's been part of Godsmack. That's unreal. That's awesome. Okay, so now let's get back to the show. The first song they do is Voodoo off the first album. Absolutely fantastic. I call it the icon song. What's really cool is you can actually hear every instrument being played. The band seems so relaxed. It's so good. Check it out. Then they go into song number 2, and that is Awake off the second album, the Awake album. Sully on guitar this time. This song, like I've said before many, many times, this song kicks so much butt. In fact, it's really good in this one. I love it. It's so freaking good. Yeah, gotta check it out. And then, last but definitely not least, they go into song number 3, and that is off the Faceless album, which is what they were promoting. Straight Out of Line, which was officially the first single, but it was really the second because they put I Stand Alone on this album as well, and it was already a big hit. So this is officially like the first single if you really want to look at it that way. So they play Straight Out of Line, Sully not on guitar on this. Amazing song. Yeah, just absolutely amazing. Either way, this song just absolutely kicks butt. I have to censor myself there. It's so good. Another, it's so good. Sully actually kind of really gets relaxed and he kind of roams the stage and he almost lets this song kind of take control of him, which is actually kind of cool. There's a part where he even not throw it like Axl Rose throw, but he kind of tosses the mic stand aside, which is actually kind of cool to see. And then that's the end of the show. Uh, yeah, so homework this week. Have you seen this before? Do you remember this coming out in 2003? I know I didn't watch it. I don't think. I could have, but it's been 20 years ago. But have you seen this before? Do you remember AOL? I do. Like I said, as soon as I say it, I hear that in my head. So that's your two homework questions. Next week, we're actually going to talk about some different bands for this next week and the week after. Next week is episode 49, and I'm going to be talking about Godsmack influences. And one of their big influences is a band that a lot of people thought this is how they got their name, Godsmack, because they have a song called Godsmack. I'm talking about the band from Seattle that came from the grunge era, although I don't really call them grunge, I just call them hard rock. I'm talking about Alice in Chains. So that will be next week. Um, if you know anybody that's Godsmack fan, likes to talk about Godsmack, hear about Godsmack, send them this way. Give them the link. Tell them go on Google, Firefox, YouTube, wherever else there is. Tell them to type in God or Smack This the Unofficial. All the episodes will pop up. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Just hit that one button, please, and it'll help out my podcast a whole lot. And that's it for this week. It's actually a short episode. I'll see you guys next Thursday, where we're going to talk about Alice in Chains. I can't wait for that. And you, yes, you, just got smacked.